How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Now, this video, I don't want it to be offensive to anyone, but I do really want us to understand what actually occurred and how Black people got into our condition. And the title of this video, the Black woman handed over the civil rights movement to whites. Understand, Black women joined the suffrage movement. But they have to understand, Black women, it was not Black men who was preventing white women from voting. It was not Black men who was preventing white women pay, right? And it was not Black men that was lowering Black women pay. It was not Black men that were preventing you from from working or from various careers. Black men did not do any of those things. So Black women ran and joined the suffrage movement, which you did not identify with white women, because white women still received white inheritance. They still enjoy white wealth, white privilege, right? They benefited from their white fathers, their white husbands, their white sons. But yet, those are the people that was oppressing white women. But Black women joined on to the white women's suffrage movement and made it another civil rights movement, giving our civil rights over to white women. And you ask, why do you say that? I'm going to show you why I say that. Black women joining the suffrage movement gave white women access to civil rights, affirmative action, things that we as Black people fought for, but Black men still have not been able to receive, while Black women has given it to white women. SBA program to accept more white women. The Clinton administration intends to greatly expand the number of white women entrepreneurs eligible for the government largest program, the AIDS Minority Businesses official said yesterday. The move comes at a time of growing political and legal challenges to federal affirmative action policies. Small Business Administration Adel Azer said proposed new regulation for the SBA 8A Minority Business Program, which will be published today, are meant to add several thousand new firms to the program, increasingly its ranks by half. I expect the increase will largely come from white women-owned firms, Alonzo said in an interview. In fiscal 1996, about 6,000 firms received $6.4 billion in federal contracts through the program, which permits federal agencies to receive contracts for minority-owned firms. In 1994, only. Let me see, go back. Okay, now. Contractors news. America's first #1 small business and public work news source. White women reap the bulk of Minnesota DBE dollars. 88% of contract dollars set aside for disadvantaged businesses enterprises have gone to businesses owned by white women in the state. The ratio is reflective of a national program, according to Sean Skippy, interim director of civil rights and the Minnesota Department of Transportation. White women tend to be sometimes the biggest beneficiary of affirmative action programs, he said, according to Biz Journals. This checks out with our reporting last week on South Bend, Indiana, where 0.006% of city contract dollars have gone to minorities this year, while only 4 contracts have been awarded to disadvantaged businesses, enterprises, 3 of them valued at $119,000, where a women-owned firm and just one valued at $1,367 was a minority-owned firm. To be clear, both situations are far below expectations, but the ratio does speak to the disparities. While it would be more informative to have aggravated data on the DBE dollars disparities between white women and minorities according to the country, this is a trend that is seen frequently. Part of the problem is that federal law does not allow state contracting agencies that take federal money for DBE programs to put minorities and women-owned business into separate categories. Black women have to understand that when white women received their right to vote, they left the black women outside. When the first white women received their right to vote, they left the black women outside. Let's be clear. Black women need to understand that it has not been black men who has been oppressing you. It had always been white men, and just like it was white men oppressing their white wives. But understand their oppression was not the same as yours. They still lived off of the wealth of their fathers, their husbands, and their sons. They still enjoyed white privilege that you did not partake in. Yet you decided to give the black people's civil rights movement over to white women, leaving behind your sons. Black women, you need to be taken accountable for this action. Bringing white women in, joining the suffrage movement. You have no place in the suffrage movement. It has not been black people or black men who was holding you down. It was not black men denying you opportunities and jobs. That has always been this common enemy of black men. This is why, if you look at statistics, black women are the most educated, meaning they have the highest debt, but are paid the least. The reason why you say you are the most unprotected black woman is because you gave the civil rights movement over to white people. You left your sons behind. The reason why we're having this issue and you say you are the most unprotected is because you have separated from your men. When you're promoting Black Girl Rocks and abandoning black children, the focus is so much on women power and women empowerment that you forgot and abandoned your sons. You forgot and abandoned your husbands. And this is why you're single. This is why there's no fathers in the house. And this is why you feel so unprotected. You gave the civil rights movement over to Europeans, to white women. Of course, they're going to give the contracts to their wives. Of course, they're going to keep the money inside their family. Black women, you gave them this option. I'm not a red pill, blue pill guy. I'm not trying to attack you. What I need you to understand is, black women, you have no place in the women's rights movement. Your place is with pro-black, moving the black family agenda, building black communities. That is where your place is.